Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Independent Schools Equity and Access Virtual College Fair. Thank you so much for joining us. We are really excited you're here. Before we get started, we do have a few housekeeping items to note. First, your camera and microphone are off. You are muted and your video is off. The panelists can't see or hear you. If you have any questions at all, feel free to use the Q&A button to type in your questions to the presenters at any time. They are here, ready and available to answer your questions. This is one of many college presentations being offered today, so feel free to check the schedule on the website for more. And lastly, all the sessions are being recorded, including this one, and will be available at strivescan.com/westtown. We are currently in session A4, where my mouse is circling, and this is also the same order of presentation. So without further ado, I'll get out of the way and introduce our very first representative from Haverford College.
Great, thank you, Catherine. All right, so hi friends, my name is Ainsley Bruton. I'm an admission counselor at Haverford College and also a Haverford alum from the class of 2021. So just to get started, I'm going to give a little virtual introduction to who we are and some things to kind of keep in mind when considering us. So here's some quick facts about Haverford. We are a small liberal arts college. We currently have about 1,400 students enrolled, and we're a very residential school with about 98% of our students living on campus. And our unofficial mascot is the black squirrel. And here you can see some breakdown of demographics for our current first year class, the class of 2025. We are located in Haverford, Pennsylvania, which is outside of the city of Philadelphia. And we do a lot, especially in our academic programming, to partner with the city and really take advantage of all of the resources housed there, with it being the 6th largest city in the United States and the 2nd largest on the East Coast. Our campus is very kind of suburban located, and we are an arboretum. So we have about 200 acres with lots of trees and beautiful green spaces. And our tree to student ratio is 6:1. So that's just one of our favorite kind of fun facts to highlight that I love to throw out. To kind of start going into academics, here's a list of our top 10 majors. Our class sizes are on average about 14 students, and they're meant to be really small, really collaborative, and really give you the chance to get to know your peers and your professors really well in the classroom setting. A little under half of our faculty live on campus, and our student to faculty ratio is 9:1. And generally, professors are really invested in the community and in getting to know students and forming those close relationships with them. Something else that's kind of interesting and important to note about our academic program is that we are part of 3 different consortia programs. So the first one is with Barnard College, and students can take any class offered there and even major or minor at Barnard. And same goes with our relationship with Swarthmore. Students can take any class located at Swarthmore and also major or minor there as well. And free transportation is provided to and from both of those colleges. Within a given semester, about 50% of our students are taking a class at one of the other colleges in the consortium. And within their 4 years, about 90% of our students will take a class at one of the other schools. So the last consortia in our program is the Quaker Consortium. That's with the University of Pennsylvania. So students can take any class offered at Penn that's not offered within the TriCo, so not within Haverford, Bryn Mawr, and Swarthmore. And that really kind of further expands the amount of classes and resources students are able to access. You do have to take public transportation in and out of the city to get to Penn, but they have so many classes offered there, and there's really no limit to the classes and academics that you can explore through these programs. Something else I like to highlight about our academics is our senior thesis requirement. So 100% of our students complete a senior thesis, and this is really the chance to be doing graduate level research at the undergraduate level. You get to choose your project and work closely with a professor in your department to craft this throughout your entire senior year. And of course, research is required of all students in that thesis project, but research generally is a really integral part of our academic programming. We have these 3 academic centers highlighted here that offer funding for student research projects and also sponsor internships and externships for students outside of the classroom, just to further enrich learning and give students more opportunities to pursue their research and things that they're interested in and passionate about. Another thing that I want to kind of highlight about Haverford is our shared governance model. So Haverford students have kind of shared governance between the students and the administration, and this is all through our honor code. So Haverford's honor code is an entirely student-written document, and it's also a living document that we re-ratify every year through a process called plenary. And you can see pictures of plenary happening here on this slide. This is really a chance for students to actively propose changes to how the college is being run and to have their voices heard on campus. The honor code also acts as a shared social contract between students, kind of brought together by our values of trust, concern, and respect. And so all students are kind of trying to live these out on campus together and really create a strong sense of community with one another through this code. And now just to wrap up in my last minute, I want to highlight some things that students do beyond Haverford. So about 90 to 95% of our graduates have post-grad plans within 6 months of graduating, and a little under 70% continue their education into graduate school or a PhD program within 5 years of graduating. And there's really no limit to what Haverford students can do after graduation, and no limit to what a Haverford degree can get you. So yeah, that is the end of my presentation. So feel free to drop extra questions in the Q&A box or chat. And thank you for your time.
Great, thank you. The next representative is from Rhode Island School of Design.
Hi, I can go ahead and share my screen, but I'm not. Yeah, there we go. I'll start my video. Thank you. Hi, my name is Maren Brennan. Let me go ahead and just share my screen for the presentation. And I'm hoping that you guys can all just see the screen that has the RISD animation on there. Okay, great. Yeah. So again, my name is Maren Brennan. I'm an admissions officer here at RISD. I also graduated from RISD in illustration back in 2008. And did a concentration in literary arts and studies, which is like a minor at other schools. So I'm really excited to be here today. Thank you for taking time out of your weekend to learn about all these wonderful schools. And I'll go ahead and jump right in. Okay, so we are located in Providence, Rhode Island, and Providence is called the creative capital of Rhode Island. It's a city known for excellence in art and education. We're also about an hour away from Boston and about 3.5 hours away from New York City. So nicely situated. We're also surrounded by Rhode Island's beautiful nature and beaches. So this is a picture of our Tillinghast Farm, a RISD-owned beach located 15 minutes away from campus by car. And RISD was founded by a small group of women in 1877, decades before they won the right to vote in America. And from Pulitzer Prize to Oscar winners, the founders of Airbnb to the creator of the Barack Obama's campaign posters, RISD's community has a long legacy of alumni who are making an impact. We also have a network of 31,000 plus alumni. They include 10 winners of the MacArthur Genius Award, the highest national honor for creative thought. One is Julie Meritu, whose paintings of abstracted landscapes transform concepts of history and geography and urban life. SF MoMA commissioned 2 of her paintings for their atrium. Our school is relatively small, which was a great thing. We have 500 graduate students and 2,000 undergraduate students. So that allows for a smaller class size. It's generally 9:1 student to faculty ratio, which sets a baseline for a lot of one-on-one attention. It's a great way for all students to feel seen and heard in the class discussions, whether it's in the studio class or liberal arts class. So as a first-year student, you would start your education at RISD in the foundation program. It's called Experimental and Foundation Studies. Everyone calls it EFS. And so you'll take classes in drawing. This student here is creating a large-scale drawing from observation. Many students leave their foundation year drawing classes saying they feel like they learned how to truly see for the first time. And in design, this is a drawing machine that was created for a design studio. Students are asked to build a machine capable of making its own works of art and then document its process by video. And also you get to experiment collaboratively. This is a group of students in Deborah Zielinski's drawing class presenting a collaborative drawing performance. In all of our studio classes, you experience critique. So it's only a better way to enhance your studio practice, get feedback from fellow artists. And it's a great way to build community as well. And it's also, during your time at RISD, especially that first year, you're going to be asking yourself, why you want to be an artist or designer, and investigate what you want to focus on while at RISD. So maybe you've considered textiles design, or you want to know what interior architecture is like. So this is a time to really, build your foundational skills, but also explore different avenues and departments to pursue. The last studio class that you'll be taking during EFS is spatial dynamics, which is a fancy term for 3D art. And I like to think of this class as a studio where students learn how individuals relate to the spaces we occupy and how what they make can have an impact on those spaces. Now I'm going to show you some work from our different departments. And this is the work from 2020. This is apparel. We have architecture and interior architecture, photography, furniture design, furniture and ceramics, glass and film animation video, more FAV, graphic design, illustration, illustration again, industrial design, painting, more ID, sculpture and printmaking, textiles. So we have our other departments, we have other departments as well. Again, there's 16 of them. There's a mixture of design and fine arts. And I encourage you to visit our website, risd.edu, go to the academic section, and you can see a whole list of departments and click on each of them to see more student work, see the curriculum, the course descriptions, contact information if you want to learn more. And learning here is balanced between immersive studio courses and wide-ranging liberal arts courses. So your creative and critical thinking will expand through study in our 3 liberal arts departments, which you see listed here. So you'll take introductions to each in your first year and then choose the liberal arts courses that appeal to you over the next 3. And liberal arts can turn into an in-depth complement to your major if you pursue a concentration, which, as I mentioned, are like minors at other schools. You can also build an interdisciplinary concentration in nature, culture, sustainability studies, computation, technology, and culture, and drawing. It's a very rigorous program here at RISD, but our particularly motivated students who are equally interested in Brown can apply to the Brown RISD dual degree program, which allows students to earn degrees from Brown and RISD simultaneously. So this program offers a rigorous course of study for students to mix diverse areas of academic work. It's a 5-year program. And I will quickly dive into the places where you'll learn at RISD. Again, you're going to spend a ton of time in studio, really getting to know the different studio spaces, working with many, many talented artists around you. This is an example from the textiles department, our Jacquard loom, which uses CAD software to create complex weave structures. We have other facilities like the Color Lab, CoWorks, and Spatial Audio Studio, which you see here, and students experiment with new technologies, share skills, and explore materials. We have our Nature Lab, which was founded in 1937 by Edna Lawrence, and it's central to RISD's focus on sustainability and the ways art and design connect to living systems. And then in a research collaboration sponsored by the Korean auto company Hyundai, student teams focus on scientifically informed design practices and one drew inspiration from cockroach exoskeletons found in the Nature Lab to serve as a basis of design for customizable mobile shelters.
Awesome.
And oh, I'm so sorry, what?
Oh, we have to jump to our next representative.
All right, well, thank you so much.
Great, thank you. Just a friendly reminder that if anyone has any questions at all, to feel free to submit those questions using the Q&A button towards the bottom of your screen. Any questions at all, our representatives are here and available to assist. The next representative is from Muhlenberg College.
Awesome. Thank you. So my name is Chelsea Schoen. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm an associate director of admissions here at Muhlenberg College. Muhlenberg is a small private liberal arts college located up in Allentown, Pennsylvania, which is the third largest city in PA. You can certainly get a sense of our campus just from this photo. Definitely a traditional feeling campus, but again, with great access to a small urban center nearby. When we talk about Muhlenberg as a small private liberal arts college, you're going to know that a lot of small private liberal arts colleges look the same on paper. So when we talk about what makes us distinct, when we talk to the community members, the one answer that you would hear echoed in the greatest volume is really just the strong culture and sense of community that we have on campus. It's something that's really hard to put into words, so hopefully you can come up and visit and get a feel for it for yourself. But it really is a place where students feel like they belong and they feel like they matter. It's a place that's often described as being really friendly, warm, and inclusive. It's a place where students actively keep their heads up when walking around instead of looking at their cell phones. They're smiling at each other, even if they have no idea who you are. And there's this tradition where you're always expected to hold the door for the person behind you, which might sound very small and simple, but I think when you have somebody who waits just a few extra seconds to hold the door for you, it can really change your day. And it's something that we think really reflects that wider philosophy of welcoming someone into a building, but therefore into the community as well. So definitely just talking about how intense that culture is. It's part of everything that we do, both inside and outside the classroom. We're super residential, so it's a place where students pretty much call Muhlenberg home. We guarantee housing for all 4 years, and over 90% live in campus housing for all year. So it's a place where students are staying and they're enjoying the options that we have. There's so much going on in terms of student life opportunities, both on campus and as well as in the city of Allentown. Particularly something to note is that we have over 130 student clubs. We're a smaller college of just under 2,000 students, so there's such a great range of ways for students to be involved. You can also see here listed that we have 14 different affinity groups, and these are those groups that will really specify and give spaces for students with particular identities, whether that's racial, ethnic, gender identity, or sexual orientation, to really connect with one another and to develop that space with one another as well. But then other clubs certainly include things like academic groups, general interests, community service, Greek life, athletics, and definitely a huge emphasis on the performing arts. As a liberal arts college, we have a variety of different areas of study, which you can see here. I think it's interesting to note that some of the areas that Muhlenberg is most well known for are on kind of different ends of the spectrum. So we're very well known for our pre-med preparation, and with that comes a strength in biology. But at the same time, we've been nationally ranked for our theater and performing arts program over the past decade. So it's interesting to note that your environment's not just STEM students, it's not just artists, but it really is this eclectic mix. And it's a place where students are combining interests and still graduating in 4 years. So if you want to be a neuroscience and music double major or a physics and theater double major, you can do that at Muhlenberg and again, still be out on time. The other thing to note about academic life is since we are a smaller college, your classrooms are smaller. You're going to be actively participating. You're not really going to find yourself in lecture halls. And that means that your faculty are going to know you super well. We really talk about our faculty more as mentors rather than just professors or scholars, because they're going to be there to advocate for you, to support you, empower you, challenge you, and really just be a part of your journey, which we hope is really a transformative one at Muhlenberg. A little bit about the admissions process, which I think is important to note, is that we are exclusively on the Common Application. We try to keep this process as streamlined as possible. So we've removed a lot of barriers in our application process. So strictly Common App, and then you would submit your transcript, have your school provide your school counselor letter and your teacher letter, and that's pretty much it. We do very holistic review, so I would be the one to read your application. We spend a lot of time looking at you as a whole person. We can't continue this culture of community that we have if we're just looking at numbers and data. You can see that Muhlenberg is coming up on our 25th year of being test optional. So while it's wonderful to see a lot of colleges moving towards that because of COVID, for us, it's always been part of our philosophy that we recognize that test scores don't always reflect a student's true abilities. So the nice thing is if you are applying test optional, you're still fully considered for merit scholarships and honors programs, and there's nothing extra that you have to do as a test optional applicant. We highly recommend interviews as part of the process, mostly because that's a way to hear your story in your own words. So it's a great way to gain an advocate in this process. Right now, they're entirely virtual for seniors, and we'll start up with juniors in the spring, Still to be determined if they will be in person, but we will always have a virtual option as we have had pre-COVID. And you can see here a statement that we've been putting out on our application directions for the past 2 years now. But just to recognize that there's been a lot happening in the world over the past 18, 20 months, whether it has to do with how you were impacted by COVID or just some of the social unrest due to the racial tension in this country, recognizing that we're going to have a heightened sensitivity when we're reading your application about the many things that you had to undergo throughout your high school experience. A little bit about financial aid and scholarships. So if your family is seeking need-based financial aid, you would have to submit the FAFSA, which is the free federal application, and there's no separate application for merit scholarship. We do not ask for the CSS profile. We removed that a few years back. And you can see here just some numbers and averages for our scholarship and aid process. We do meet full need in over 90% of cases, so Muhlenberg is definitely a really affordable and accessible choice for most of our families. And you can see here, again, just the range of scholarships. So traditionally it goes up to $30,000, but we do have 5 $40,000 year scholarships we give out, as well as 4 honors programs and talent scholarships given for theater, music, dance, studio art, and film studies. You don't have to major in any of those areas to be considered for the art talent scholarships, but you do have to stay active in that talent while on campus. And then lastly, we just have our deadline. So we have 2 ways to apply: early decision and regular decision. Regular decision deadline is February 1st. You'll be notified mid-March and you can make your choice by May 1st. And then early decision, that's the one that's binding. So it's certainly quite a commitment to make. But we do offer early financial reads for families. So this way, if you fall in love with Muhlenberg, but parents, guardians, family members want to have a sense of that financial aid side, you can contact us and we would give that to you in advance. So it's a pretty transparent process that our families feel comfortable with. So that's what I have about Muhlenberg. I hope you got to enjoy hearing about our vibrant community. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the Q&A.
Very helpful information. Thank you. The next representative is from Ohio Wesleyan University.
Hello, my name is Dave Froman. I'm Associate Director of Admissions at Ohio Wesleyan. And we're located in Delaware, Ohio, just north of Columbus. This is a scene from the east side of our campus. We have a smaller student body, around 1,400 students, a large campus, 200-acre campus. Town of Delaware is a wonderful college town, and I hope a number of you get out to check it out. Your classes are going to be small. Average class size is going to be around 15 students. You're going to have a lot of personal attention from your faculty, but where we really hang our hat is on what we call the OU connection. The 3 pillars of the OU connection are think big, go global, and get real. Think big, interdisciplinary programs and research. This particular picture is of Craig Jackson, one of our math professors, and Amy Downing, one of our zoology professors. They teach a class where they look at how mathematical modeling can be used to better understand marine ecosystems. And most of the time when you take a travel learning class, most of the class happens on campus in Delaware, Ohio, but then you go and you apply what you've learned in your class to a practical situations wherever the travel portion is. The travel portion for this particular class is to the U.S. Virgin Islands. Go global, over 70% of our students have an overseas experience sometime during their time as OU students. That could be a semester abroad, it could be another travel learning class. This particular class is another travel learning class. This is our island biology class, which we've been offering since the mid-1970s. And the travel portion for this, at the end of the bulk of the class, which happens in Delaware, Ohio, is to the Galapagos Islands, island biology. Get real, internships, research, robust practical experiences. This particular picture is Tom Dolan. Tom Dolan did our Wesleyan in Washington semester. He took classes at the Washington Center. He had an internship with Corey Gardner, who at the time was one of the senators from the state of Colorado. And upon graduation, it led directly to him being employed, Tom being employed on Capitol Hill. He now works for the House of Representatives. And here's maybe my favorite slide, a picture of Eva Blockstein, graduated in 2019. And you can see she was a major in zoology, but combined that with her interest in fine arts and environmental studies as minors. And if you follow the dotted lines, you can see all of her out-of-class experiences, her OU connection experiences, 2 travel learning classes, an internship at the Stratford Nature Preserve, which is close to campus, back home, an internship at the Baltimore Aquarium, 20 minutes from campus, an internship at the Columbus Zoo. And she actually wrote grant proposals and got full funding for 2 projects, one to study endangered frogs in Panama, the other to, with her art interest, to study the cast iron art practices at the Sloss furnaces of Birmingham, Alabama. All these experiences led to her first job as a field technician at National Ecological Observatory Network in Fairbanks, Alaska. Some of the stats here, you can see the percent of grads that are in graduate school or employed, number of states, 27% of students have multiple majors, and we have 71 majors, by the way. So we have a lot of opportunities for majors, 100 clubs and organizations. 27% of our students, a little over a quarter of our students, are either U.S. multicultural or international students. We are Division III sports, 24 sports is indicated there. I mentioned before the average class size of 15. Most popular majors, 71 majors, they're all great, but the most popular ones are anything under the business econ umbrella is most popular. Second most popular major, and kind of a niche for us, is zoology and politics and government, biology, pre-med, health and human kinetics, and psychology. As I mentioned, Delaware, great college town, about 40,000 people living in Delaware. We're just 30 minutes north of Columbus. Columbus is now the 14th largest city in the United States and the capital of Ohio, a great resource for us and our students. You can see here the cost is around $62,000 total, but with the aid that we give, and 99% of our students get some kind of aid, either a combination of merit and or need-based aid, brings the average cost down below $17,000. We have merit scholarships available from $20,000 to full tuition. Full tuition is around $46,000. And then we have some other full tuition scholarships, $10,000 above the maximum, and with Wesleyan scholarship. Then we have a service scholarship. We have art scholarships, music scholarships, a Life Eagle Scout scholarship, and an access program for scholarship for students involved with the CBO. We are one of the colleges that change lives, and this is a quote from the book, The Colleges That Change Lives. Everyone is dreaming big. The college has the structure to support those dreams. So we put a lot of dollar and people resources into opportunities for our students and our graduates. And a lot of it, as I mentioned before, is through the OWU connection. Again, Associate Director of Admission, this is my contact information. Appreciate you participating in the program today, and hopefully we will stay connected. Thanks so much.
We really appreciate it. Thank you. Just a second friendly reminder that if you have any questions at all, to feel free to submit those questions using the Q&A button towards the bottom of your screen. Any questions about the college application process, or even if you have questions for any of our schools here represented, we encourage you to include the school name. The next representative is from Barnard College.
Hi, everyone. My name is Christina Lopez. I'm the Dean of Enrollment Management at Barnard College. I want to go through quickly who we are. So we are a small liberal arts college for women in New York City in partnership with Columbia University. All four of those pillars make up who we are and create a very unique urban liberal arts experience right in the heart of New York City. We are a highly selective institution. Our admit rate last year was about 11%, and we enrolled a class of about 769 students. 84% in the top 10% of their high school rank. But we are incredibly diverse and dedicated to access and equity. 55% of our students are students of color. 18% were first in their families to attend college, and 20% are receiving Pell Grants, which means they are in low-income students. So we are a highly diverse liberal arts college. We have 50 different majors that students can choose from, and our most popular majors are listed there. All of our departments are shared with Columbia University. I'll talk a little bit more about that partnership, but it provides you with 7,000 courses to choose from. Students take courses on our campus as well as Columbia's campus, and so you have a wide variety of faculty and class sizes to learn from. Our classes are small on our campus. 70% of our courses have 19 or fewer students. Our average class size is about 15 students. Allows you a lot of interaction with faculty members who become your mentors, and about 2/3 of our faculty identify as women. And about 30% of our students are pursuing degrees in STEM. As a matter of fact, research is a big part of who we are. Students are conducting research in all areas of study, both the STEM fields as well as in the humanities, and are doing that research directly with their faculty members. And this leads to lots of hands-on opportunities for research, working directly with the faculty member and being able to go to conferences as well as publish research along with their faculty members. So students are getting graduate level research experiences that few liberal arts colleges are able to provide. In terms of support for students, we're proud to have Access Barnard, which is an initiative that we started in 2020. And it's a new integrated approach to supporting students who identify as first-gen, low-income, or international. We recognize the support service that the diversity of those identities represented in those groups need, and being able to provide them support with access to mentoring, networking, advising, and additional financial support resources. It is a resource that students have right when they enroll in school throughout their 4 years. As a women's college, we were founded as an act of rebellion, knowing that most colleges at the time were only accessible to men, very specifically white men. And so we petitioned, a young woman petitioned to have Barnard founded as a space where women could receive the same liberal arts degree that the men could across the street at Columbia. And so our institution is dedicated to the success of women academically, professionally, and personally. I always say that a women's college is not about the absence of men, but rather the presence of women and what that means in terms of being able to have leadership opportunities, to be able to expand the ideas of what you thought was possible, to have support in all areas of academic study, and to have a network of women of 35,000 plus living Barnard alumni who are there to support you and encourage you beyond Barnard as well. Within our partnership with Columbia University, we have a shared course catalog of 7,000 courses, as I remembered. So as I mentioned before, so Barnard students are able to take classes at Columbia, and Columbia students, male and female, take courses at Barnard. So we are a women's college, but we have co-ed courses. In addition, clubs and organizations on both sides of campus are open to Barnard students, and Barnard students even lead clubs on Columbia's campus for more opportunities for leadership. We also have many shared resources as well, including library systems as well. In addition, that our partnership allows us to be the only women's college in the country with Division I Ivy League athletics. Every student athletics team is a Columbia Lion, and it is one of the many integrated ways that we have this Barnumbia community, as we like to say. Our athletics are really strong, and we offer 16 varsity sports for women. Living in New York City provides so many opportunities for learning inside and outside the classroom, bringing in all of the cultural institutions and many opportunities to work with local social impact organizations as well. The city is your classroom. And then for Beyond Barnard, we are able to provide advising and resources for students who are ready for career exploration, including preparation for graduate school, internships, and experiential education. The top 5 graduate schools where students go to after graduating from Barnard: Columbia, Fordham University, Sciences Po in Paris, Johns Hopkins University, NYU, University of Michigan, and UPenn as well. And then lastly, we have our 4+1 pathways For graduate study within Columbia, students are able to earn a master's degree and their bachelor's degree and a master's degree in 5 years in a variety of different schools at Columbia. So thank you so much, and I will pass it on to the next one.
Great, thank you. Our last representative, but certainly not least, is from Earlham College.
Hello, everybody. It's so nice to be here with you. And I'm going to get my screen set up and then we'll get started. While I'm doing that, I am Susan Hillman de Castañeda. I'm Director of International Admissions and Alumni Recruitment. I also work with Quaker student recruitment and transfer students. So I am an Earlham graduate. I graduated in '93 with a degree in Spanish. And my daughter is also an Earlham graduate, and currently she's working at LinkedIn as an insights manager for their sales solution. So we're very proud of her. So Earlham is located in Richmond, Indiana, which is just on the Indiana-Ohio border, 45 minutes from the Dayton airport. That's the closest airport to the campus. We have about 600 students on campus, or I'm sorry, 800 students on campus. 18% of them are international, coming from 60 countries. And another 22% of our students are domestic multicultural students. We are a Quaker school, and we're very proud of that. We do live out our principles and practices and ask our students to live by those principles of respect for persons, integrity, simplicity, commitment to peace and justice, and community. All of that makes for a very distinctive community where we create spaces for our students to engage, explore, discover, create wonderful relationships with their professors, all of whom they call by their first names, and to have many transformational opportunities and experiences, all with the purpose of creating leaders for the future, people who will go out into the world and make the world a better place. We are also one of the colleges that changed lives. I'm very happy to have been in all of the editions of that book. We have over 40 majors and minors that we're very excited about. Our largest ones are biology, psychology, computer science, and our global management program, which has a variety of tracks in it. It's our business program. We have an interesting, students can major, double major, whatever they have time to complete. We also have some very interesting interdisciplinary programs. So our women's gender and sexuality studies, environmental sustainability. Our Japanese program is excellent. We're one of the few colleges our size that has such a strong Japanese language and linguistics program. And then we have some applied minors, which are quite interesting. They're minors, but across disciplines. So for example, an anthrozoology minor, applied minor would include biology, psychology, sociology, anthropology. So you get a minor, but across disciplines. Students have until the end of their second year to declare their major. As a liberal arts school, we do ask students to take courses in every discipline, but there's plenty of time and they get to choose which courses they'll use to fulfill that. The average class size is about 13 students. The largest class on campus would be maybe 60, which would be an introduction to our biology class. Student to faculty ratio lets students know how accessible their professors would be. So a 9-to-1 student to faculty ratio ensures that you'll have time to talk to your professors if you have questions. We have been recognized by the Princeton Review for several years running as having one of the best classroom experiences. We have a program called EPIC, which is the Earlham program for an integrated curriculum. And through that, we have a variety of centers. So Center for Global and Career Education, Center for Entrepreneurship, Innovation and Creativity, Center for Global Health, Center for Social Justice, and Center for Environmental Leadership. And one of the other parts of that is that students are guaranteed up to $5,000 in addition to any financial aid or scholarship to have at least one internship or research opportunity. Anywhere in the world, $5,000 will take them. In 2019, which was the last sort of normal year, we had students in 22 states and 18 countries around the world during their internship. And they also have opportunity to work with professors. Our student life is very strong. We are a residential campus, housing is guaranteed. So students are involved in a lot of clubs and organizations that are all run by students and kept going by students. We have theme houses. We do not have sororities or fraternities, but we have theme houses. So interfaith house, food house, knit house, French house, German house, etc. And students are also very involved in the governance of the college. Students are on every committee of the college. So they're on the budget committee, the faculty interview and search committee, board of trustees observers. So student voices are very, very important to the running of the college. Admissions and financial aid, we use a common application or the Earlham application. We have been test score optional for over 10 years. We know students are more than a test score, and we ask for a transcript, one recommendation. Students can send test scores in if they like, and we'll only use it if it would increase their merit scholarship. Our merit scholarships go up to $37,000 a year, and then the rest of the financial aid package would be based on the FAFSA. Our international students also receive merit scholarships and need-based grant. There's no separate application for the merit scholarship. So that's the end of my presentation. Thank you so much and look forward to any questions.
Great. Thank you so much to all our representatives, all great information shared. We do have a few minutes left. And so at this time now, we're going to pivot into our Q&A portion of this session. I invite all our representatives at this time to go ahead and turn on their cameras and get ready for our first question in our Q&A, which is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? What advice would you give someone going through the college search process? And we'll go ahead and get started in the same order in which you all presented in.
Great, I guess I'll start off. So I think that the advice I would give to students and their college search process is to really think about, what they're looking for a college, obviously, but I think a good place to start doing that is to think about situations that you've had in high school and throughout your life that have really pushed you to grow and where you've really been able to thrive, and just think about like what kind of parameters existed in that situation. In high school, is it the teachers, is it the community, is it certain subjects, what has really kind of pushed your growth forward the most, and then use that as a helpful place to start in terms of looking at a college and thinking about what you need in a college to be able to grow and thrive in that community.
I would say when looking into schools, just definitely keep in mind that all schools are different, all art schools are different. The programs vary, and also what different schools are looking for in your application and your portfolio is going to be a little bit different. So definitely doing your homework about that. Enjoy the process, enjoy learning about each school, learning about yourself in the process. If you're able to, I know it's a little bit more difficult to travel nowadays, but if you're able to visit each campus, go for it. It makes a world of difference to be physically on the campus and kind of see if you can visualize yourself there at the school. And then just, while you're researching, while you're kind of weighing your options, definitely just keep making work and enjoy the process of it. Try not to worry too much about the portfolio when you're making work, and just have fun experimenting. But absolutely, if you're even a little bit interested in a school, why not apply? Absolutely, just submit your application and then make the decision once you get those letters back as to what would be the right fit for you.
Yeah, I would say one thing is that certainly us in admissions, we love hosting events, virtual events, having tours, and we definitely encourage you to do that. But I also think it's important to spend time casually on a campus or casually on a web page, going to some social media pages, and really seeing how students genuinely feel about that college. Be in the dining hall, listen to the conversations that are happening around you. Are you excited by what they're talking about? Does it feel like a place you could see your friends and your future mentors? So I think, again, as much as we all put a lot of effort into those formal admissions visits, just spend time on a campus or, again, online through social media in a more informal way. I think that's a great way to really get an authentic sense of a campus and its culture.
Two things I would say. First of all, don't hesitate to reach out to us or to whoever your admissions representative is. We're advocates for you. We're partners with you. We're happy to help. And the other thing is that as important as the admissions process is, stay focused on what is most important, which is getting the most you can out of your classes, activities, and relationships wherever you're in high school now. Your best preparation for college is to do just that. You need to do your due diligence and check out colleges. You need to file applications, obviously. But stay focused on what is most important, which is getting the most you can out of your high school experience wherever you are now. Thanks.
That's great advice. I would say use your resources. A lot of students have more resources than they realize, especially within your own school. Whether or not you have a college counselor, certainly use them to gain some ideas of what schools might be great for you to add onto your list. But also you have students that are already attending our schools that graduated from your high school. Feel free to send them an email, slide into their DMs, ask, hey, what's your experience at the school? Like, do you like it? Some of them may even be able to host you if you're able to come on campus and walk you around or take you into their classes. Definitely utilize those in your neighborhood, in your family, asking about schools. And then once you've kind of narrowed down in your list, yes, we all give information sessions and open houses, and all of that is virtual. Certainly you can come on campus, but your best resource is always students and being able to ask them directly. So whatever opportunities you have for online panels to speak to students or emails, or even to just look at our social media that students have. We have lots of influencers at our campuses that love to vlog about their experiences. Feel free to follow them just to see what a day in the life is like.
Great. So that's all wonderful advice. Kind of to sum up, I would say really thinking about the context in which you'll have your education is very important. Sometimes we get like, whoa, there's a new dorm here, a new building here, or this whatever, but really think of yourself at the end of the day, how you will feel at that campus, where you listened to, were you respected, where did someone hold the door open for you? That's very beautiful. How are you being encouraged to grow, and how are you being challenged to grow, and are you being taken seriously? And again, you can find those answers by asking current students at these institutions.
Great, all great advice. It's always helpful to hear directly who work at the respective institutions to offer tips, suggestions, especially as many of you all are going through the college application process. So thank you so much to our representatives for being here, and thank you to each of you for joining us. We have now reached the conclusion of this session. As we close, there will be a very quick 5-question survey that will appear. If you don't mind taking a moment to fill that out for us, your feedback is greatly appreciated. This is one of many college presentations being offered, so feel free to check the schedule on the website for more. And lastly, this session is being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/westtown. Thank you all and have a great day.